that when we come out to our friends and family, frequently the initial reaction is, "Oh my God, how does this affect me?"
Yes.
To simplify and paraphrase, and that's an understandable reaction from people.
Yeah.
That causes them to question themselves, question their relationship with you because they didn't know. They end up frequently feeling hurt because this is somebody I've had a relationship with and they've kept this from me. And that's all understandable.
It is. It is.
But that should not ever lead to threatening violence against you. Should never lead to, threats of bodily harm.
Right.
Or showing up at your door,
Absolutely.
leaving harassing, threatening phone calls.
Yeah, messages on your machine or whatever. Yeah, I mean, my sister is a perfect example of that. My sister, who I love dearly and who has agreed to come on the show. It's just a matter of getting her down here. She lives in the Albany area, and at some point we'll get her down here and get her on the show. My sister is a sweetheart, but I have a brother and a sister who handled my transition fairly well. But I did, they were floored, they were speechless, and my sister did go through kind of a period where she was upset about the whole thing. She handled it well, but it was upsetting to her, and she kept talking about about mourning the loss of her brother, and it's like, well, honestly, I'm still the same person I was. The truth is, you never really had a brother. Well, actually, I have a brother, so yes. She had two brothers. Now she has a brother.
She thought she had two brothers.
She thought she had two brothers, but the truth is that person that I was, honestly, wasn't really a brother. That person was a sister. You just didn't know it, and it took me a while, because she really was kind of upset about it. She certainly wasn't threatening me. She loves me, and that's very clear. And she was concerned about me, but there was a point there for a while that she was really upset and trying to deal with this, and I get that, and I certainly sympathize. I understand that it's difficult, and I don't want to diminish that in any way. You are very fond of saying that our family members transition with us. But I finally had to, at one point I had to say, look, this isn't really about you, it's about me and what I need to do. And I'm the same person I was.
And apologies to all the patrons at Margaritas when that happened.
Yes. Well, yes. Okay. So my sister had come down to visit. That was, in fact, the first time my sister had seen me since I transitioned. And we went to Margaritas for dinner with my ex and my grandson. And my sister Amy and we got into a knockdown, drag-out, screaming match in Margaritas. They very nearly threw us out. It was amusing. It was stressful, but it was, my sister and I arguing and yelling at each other, but we love each other, and my sister and I were always very, very close. We were very close growing up, and it was just sort of us working out our little problems.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, my sister and I are very close.
And at the end of the day, if your sister couldn't deal with you, she'd walk away from you and never talk to you again.
Yeah, and she wasn't going to do that.
But I mean, it seems to me, if you have a friend or a family member who transitions, and it just weirds you out to a point that you can't get over it, you can't accept this person, leave them the hell alone. Walk away. Go your own separate way. Stop talking to them. Cut ties. Leave them alone.
Yeah, and that happens. I had one. I can honestly say
you don't start threatening them.
Yeah, I had one friend that I lost in my transition, just one, who just disappeared and never spoke to me again.
Right.
But I certainly have not had family members threaten me with physical harm, and our dear friend who we were comforting last night had exactly that, and it just blows me away.
Multiple hateful, spiteful messages about all the different things he would do to her.
Yeah. It's like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. I wish somebody could explain this to me, because I don't understand how anybody could be that upset about it, about something that really has very little to do with them, especially.
If they only realized on how happy
Exactly.
Yeah.
we were, it
Yeah.
would make a big difference.
That's a really great point. That's something that I'm obviously you have sort of gone down this road, but I had sort of realized that as well long ago, and was prepared. It was sort of my speech. I had prepared for those people, especially family members, that were unhappy with this. It's like, I had this little speech. I don't really remember exactly because I actually never had to use it. But what would you prefer? Do you want me to stay as I am so that this doesn't sort of inconvenience you in any way and spend the rest of my life being miserable, or do you want me to be happy? It's really pretty simple. And I realize that the family members do transition with us, and it is something that they have to deal with. And we have to be somewhat...
We're willing to work with
Yeah,
them.
we have to have some patience.
Right. It isn't that we not going to avoid the whole situation and just say, that's it, work with us and
Yeah. But
give us some...
Exactly. It's
Well,
family.
and I think you have to allow too I think you have to allow enough room in people's reactions for them to be ashamed and disgusted of us. But then the appropriate response is not to threaten my life, but to walk away so you don't have to see me again.
Yeah. Yeah. I get
That's
it.
my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree, and I get it. I get that this can be really hard for people. I get that it can kind of blow people away a bit, and it takes time sometimes to sort of come to grips with it, and some people never do.
Yeah.
But threatening and violence is insane. But
It's not the right path.
no, it's not, and certainly it isn't a path that's acceptable with anybody. And I wouldn't suggest that it's acceptable, under any other circumstance. It's just more prevalent with us, which is, I guess, the point I'm trying to make. We actually have a phone call, so we're going to take this. Good evening, NLC Trans. You're on the air. Hello.
Yes, good evening. Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I've been watching your program. I have seen it one other time.
Okay. Go on.
And when I'm watching you people, I have to admit it is quite disturbing to me listening to your conversation regarding that other people would be so offended by who you are. For the
Yeah.
simple reason, we're all God's people, and if you like yourself and you're not harming other people, what is it to other people to feel offended about what you made of yourselves?
Right.
I think this is
It's a very good point.
something that disturbs me about the world. They should be in peace with themselves and leave other people, accept the people who they are, welcome them. And I'm not talking, you guys, not a murderer or a rapist. We're talking about clean-cut people. And if you like yourself, why wouldn't I want to like you as well?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
wish more people would feel as well as you do
Yeah.
towards that. It
Absolutely.
would make the whole world a lot happier.
Yeah. Amen. Yeah.
You look, all the three of you look like wonderful people to me.
Thank
Oh,
you.
thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you. And judging by what you...
And I'd like to have a cup of tea with you a whole lot more than the ones who are all the time full of anger.
Oh,
And let me
thank
tell you, she likes her tea.
I do. We'd be happy to have tea with you. Absolutely. Well, that is so wonderful.
Wonderful. I like my tea too.
You just made our day.
Yes. Thank you so much.
I wish you all God's blessing and a rich life, and God bless